Connected by the Rio Grande River, 270 miles apart, these two southwestern teams are looking for bragging rights in a rivalry that tonight turns pro. Albuquerque, in the land of enchantment known for its majestic balloons, brings in a USL squad eager to represent New Mexico and dominate the soccer landscape in the Southwest. But in the city of the sun, the tracks are heating up. El Paso has been at full eighth notch, looking to run through another Western Conference opponent. It's the Lone Star State versus the Land of Enchantment, Blue versus Yellow, Freighter versus Ketterer, El Paso Locomotive FC versus New Mexico United. You ready for the ride?
Welcome to Southwest University Park, home tonight of what they're calling the Rio Grande Derby. Duke Keith along with Michael Ballaghan, a very happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there. We appreciate you joining us, and it's a big one tonight. El Paso Locomotive FC versus New Mexico United FC. Locomotive putting their two-game win streak on the line. A big win last week at Colorado Switchbacks.
Yeah, it was definitely a great win for the team, for the organization, their first away win. So it's good to see the team coming together and building on their win here at home against Reno 1868.
They are going to need all of the chemistry they can find because as we take a look at Jerome Kiesevetter's goal, it is offense versus defense tonight. Kiesevetter, though, providing a bit of offense. He nutmegs Clint Irwin on his way to the first. That was just after the halftime whistle into the second half, the 46th minute. About 15 minutes later, Omar Salgado, beautiful feed, Kiesevetter walking in on Irwin and puts it through. A 2-0 win for Locomotive FC. First time we've seen the offense kind of really click, especially with that target 9 up front.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. It's the chemistry. It's always going to be a matter of time that gets this group clicking and coming together and gelling and scoring goals at home and on the road. And we saw that in Colorado last week. And it's also that chemistry that's helping them keep a shutout. The 5th of the season for Logan Ketterer. So it's great to see how this team is coming together.
And they will need all of that chemistry tonight against New Mexico United, a team that can score goals in bunches, as we see some of the highlights in front of a sold-out crowd. 15,000 plus in Albuquerque, 3-0 win for New Mexico United. They are going to need all of the defense they can muster. This evening from El Paso, the Rio Grande Derby. Starters next. Welcome back to Southwest University Park as we take a look at tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting New Mexico United, Duke Keith along with Michael Balogun with you as we are just about ready for kickoff. New Mexico United, interestingly, missing Kevon Frater, at least from the starting lineup. He is on the bench tonight, Michael.
Yeah, there's a couple of things to keep in mind there, a couple of reasons why that could be the case. He's currently sitting on 4 yellow cards, so that fifth one would have him sitting out a game. With 3 games in a matter of 8 days, that's another reason why he could be out, just to rest him and make sure he's able to last the entire week.
4-4-2 for Troy Lessane's squad coming right at Locomotive FC for APLFC. We're looking for a little more of that chemistry between Omar Salgado and Jerome Kiesewetter that netted them at least one of the 2 goals they scored last weekend at Switchbacks.
Yeah, it's going to be really key for those guys to look to continue to combine and find each other like they've done over the last couple of weeks. In addition to that, the one thing that we're seeing in the lineup is the return of Brian Rebellon. We haven't seen him for a couple of weeks since the March 30th game here against Orange County, so it's great to see him back in the starting lineup and on the field for the Locomotive.
That is going to be an absolute key because New Mexico United loves to flood those wings and come straight up at you.
Absolutely, and with the threats of Santimora on the left side for the Locomotive, Brian Rebellon is going to be called upon to do the job and to do what he's capable of doing.
Also missing tonight for Locomotive FC is Nick Ross, the Scot, out with a bit of a knock, suffered during training. Taking his place, interestingly, will be Calvin Resende, who has put in some solid minutes for this Locomotive FC team.
And Calvin Resende has been called upon over the last couple of weeks, and he showed what he's capable of, so he's more than happy to step in and do the job.
Gustavo Solorio is our referee tonight. Shane Kennard, Eduardo Jeff are the linesmen, and Luis Quintanilla is our 4th official. Devin Sandoval off the kickoff, and right away there is a try by Chris Wehan, who potted a couple versus San Antonio FC. That amazing sold-out crowd at Isotopes Park, over 15,000 in attendance. That's tops in the USL this season. Mishak Jerome, Giro and Toko trying to switch things out. And Toko cleaning up a bit of a mess, and here comes Omar Salgado. Along the right, Salgado challenging immediately. Salgado gets to the byline, keeps it on, looking for the cross, going far post, trying to knock it back in. To no avail. Calvin Resende. But Locomotive FC leading USL Championship with that completed passing percentage, 85%. That is 4% better than the next closest 2 teams.
It's a great start for the Locomotive. They already look settled into their style, into the way they want to play. You see Omar Salgado really getting comfortable and becoming more comfortable playing on that right side. He's a natural lefty, but he's playing on the right side sort of as an inverted player. But he's capable of going down the line and getting a cross in, or coming inside looking to get a shot off on the left foot.
And there is Brian Rebellon. Great to see the Colombiano back in the lineup. Yuma, soft header to Rebellon. And Yuma back against the wall, but usually there is someone else to send the ball to. This time it goes all the way back to Logan Ketterer. 3 consecutive clean sheets coming in with over 190 minutes of shutout soccer. It's interesting, you look at Chris Wehan on the other side, leads the USL Championship in saves with 32. You don't necessarily want that for your goalkeeper, though.
No, obviously, Logan Ketterer is capable of staying mentally focused and tuned in those moments when he's called upon and he's not getting a lot of action.
Resende will back it out. And here is Kiffy. Long cross to the back post, and it's over Kiesewetter's head. Out for a throw. Good thought, though, by Resende, as Seba Contreras gets deep. Yuma. Sent out, and it'll be a throw-in for Locomotive FC. Cody Mizell, the man from Woodstock, Georgia. Tampa Bay Rowdies including last season, but also a stint in 2014. He has been around the USL, Goalie of the Year nominee from his time at the Charlotte Independence. And he has been a fiery backstop for New Mexico this season. United itself a fiery team.
They're definitely a team that's capable of scoring in bunches. However, they're definitely a team that's susceptible to giving up goals, and we've seen that so far in the season with them scoring 22 goals and giving up 14. So he's been a busy goalkeeper, and they've been busy on the other side of the field in the attack.
22 goals this season to lead the USL Championship. Santi Moar with 7, Kevon Frater with 7. And there's the switch out to Resend. Good work by Resend, and it's knocked out. Another throw in. Played under Alessandro Nesta for Miami FC in the USL. Little back pass. Mizell has to clear that out. Gets it to Tony Soler. And United will start. Moar ready to switch things. He'll try the long bomb for Big Devin Sandoval, the Albuquerque native. A little too far ahead from him, but a decent thought from Manuel Padilla. Should be noted, United also missing the services of Juan Pablo Guzman, a gentleman you know well, Michael, who is down in Colombia getting married this weekend.
Yeah, I want to congratulate him and his beautiful fiance. I know he's enjoying his time there, and he wishes he was here with his team, but duty called, so he's down in Colombia getting married.
Well said on Mother's Day. Chiro and Toko back to Logan Ketterer. 5 clean sheets this season. That is second in the USL Championship coming into today. Tampa Bay Rowdies as a team leading with 6 clean sheets on the year. Well, forced turnover, Rebellon. Seba Contreras lofting one. I think he thought Resend was there. Kiesewetter a little upset. Played a bit over his head. But they're taking a few more chances with the former Bundesliga forward, aren't they? They know that he could be in the area and just make something happen.
Yeah, he's definitely getting more comfortable with the group. The group is more comfortable with him. They're working on the timing and the chemistry. So it's good to see them combining and looking to find Jerome Kiesewetter a bit more with a couple of weeks under his belt.
From keeper to keeper, Mizell to Ketterer. And Toko. James Kiffey will turn it back. Kiffey himself a well-traveled USL player. Yuma under a bit of pressure. Moar forcing the Spaniard. Spaniard on Spaniard there. Sending it off to the right. And Kiffey trying to keep it in play. Cross a bit behind him. Resend and Toko. Moar is all over him, and Toko will switch it out to the right. But a good high press by Troy Lessane's squad. Rebellon fights his way through it to Yuma, to Seba Contreras. Contreras with a nice move. Puts Austin Yearwood on his back and draws the foul.
Josh Suggs is very lucky there not to get a yellow card. I understand he's the captain and he wants to set the tone for his group. However, grabbing the jersey of Sebastian Contreras as he's looking to get to goal could have possibly cost him a card.
Nice lead ball, but a bit too far ahead of Resend. And here is Mizell. Trying to find Devin Sandoval. It's deflected by Kiffey. Brought down by Weehan, and United looking for a spell of possession. Moar who seems to be everywhere. Out back here is Soler. Back it comes from Estrada. And Soler. Santi Moar. Cutting it back. Gets it back. Great work by Richie Ryan to lift a foot in there as El Paso Locomotive FC looking to shut the door before Moar could gain the attacking third. It's going to be a bit of a tightrope walk versus this United team in exactly those kinds of situations tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, the team that's able to defend well in those blocks of 8, the blocks of 10 is gonna find themselves having success in this game. Both teams want to possess the ball. Both teams want to try to move the ball side to side, looking for those gaps and those pockets in those central areas. And the team that's able to defend well and possibly go on the counter a little quicker, or the quickest, is going to be the team that's most successful in this game.
They'll switch it out to the left side, and Soler again looking to find a run for Moar, and it's picked off cleanly by Rebellon. The Colombian will be a key tonight out on that right wing. Select, the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Mishak Jerome, the Haitian international. 35 to 40 yards and in. A deadly right boot. Good switch there by Contreras. Crossing, Kiesewetter. Over his head and out the other side for a throw-in.
The Locomotive doing a really good job handling the pressure of New Mexico United right now. However, they have to look to switch the ball a little bit quicker, either finding James Kiffey on this left side, on this near left side, or Brian Rebellon a little quicker on the far right side. If they're able to do that, then those pockets in the central areas will open up a little quicker for them.
Saleh Mohammed. Little room to roam for Josh Suggs. Moat. Moat and Hamilton trying to stretch Locomotive FC out of the formation. El Paso not willing to give. That is the thing about Mark Lowry's squad. They'll fire that one, and it'll be a throw-in for El Paso. Deep in. Kiffey will do the honors. And Toko to Kiffey. Will spring it out. Well won by New Mexico. Moat, pardon me, Wehan trying to turn. Can't quite do so. Estrada, little keep away. Mohammed to Estrada. Trying to make a move on that right wing is Padilla. Knocked out by Kiffey, but only so far as Mohammed. Coming across. Little slip by Moat. And an easy handle for Logan Ketterer. United, though, knocking at the door, asking some questions, aren't they?
Absolutely. They play a unique formation. There's a lot of fluidity in it. The players are able to move around however they feel, or whatever in whatever way makes sense. Josh Suggs, for example, he's listed as a left back. However, you see him tuck in, play more of a central, maybe even an attacking midfielder. So there's a lot of fluidity in the movement of the players for the New Mexico United, and it can cause a lot of problems. Teams are not communicating and picking up players.
Chiro and Toko, a bit of a miscommunication with Seba Contreras out of that left side. And here comes United Soler. Men from Valencia, Spain. Helped South Georgia Tormenta FC gain the playoffs last season. Northeast 10 Player of the Year. Devin Sandoval standing in the way of that as Kiesewetter got a piece. Deflects it backward. Soler all the way back to the Rashid Tete. Moat trying to find a way forward. Sweeps it into the middle. Richie Ryan blows it up. Ryan trying to restart things the other way. Kiesewetter with a touch. Rebellon. Locomotive FC. Not about to give. Here's Kiffy. Fans follow El Paso Locomotive FC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Here is a cross by Resend, knocked out. It'll be a corner kick for El Paso. Resend looking dangerous. Tete got a piece, but puts it over the end line. Mizell dove to try and keep it in play, but it's already over. And Locomotive FC will send the veteran Irishman, Richie Ryan.
Right now, the Locomotive have to decide as soon as they win the ball, do they want to go on the quick counter? Do they want to hit New Mexico United on the break, or do they want to slow it down and possess it and look to beat them that way? There's a lot of room and there's a lot of space available to hit them on the quick counter, so we'll have to keep an eye on that for the rest of the game.
Kiffy, that's deflected. Kiesewetter trying to side it, gets brought down. Play on, says Gustavo Solorio. Locomotive FC will gain possession. Mishak Jerome to Ryan. And to Kiffy. United trying to stay compact. Contreras back to James Kiffy and to Richie Ryan. Yuma getting to play a little more of that traditional defensive holding midfielder role. Locomotive FC with a pair of those veterans in Yuma and Richie Ryan, as Yuma fouls. Taking a seat is David Estrada.
Looks like Yuma got the worst of that challenge there with Manny Padilla.
Seemed like an awkward landing. And he's favoring his left wrist or fingers, possibly.
If it's just a hand injury, he'll be fine. He'll pop it back in place. If it's a dislocated finger, and you get back on with it.
You pretty much have to cut something off to get a reaction.
He's not coming out of this game. It's too big of a game. He's too big of a player, too important of a player for this group. So he's definitely gonna do whatever he needs to on that sideline. Looks like it's a dislocated finger.
Yeah, it's
definitely gonna tape it back in place, and get on with business.
So he does come off for attention from Stuart Wright. It's knocked back by Contreras and Mizell.
This is definitely an unusual game for the Locomotive. We don't see them a lot have to defend in that block of 8 and that block of 10. So to see them be tested early on in this game in that line and with that formation, it's been good to see how well they've adjusted and how well they're dealing with the pressure from New Mexico United.
Again, Moar trying to roam free up that left side, and again blown up by Brian Rebellon. There's the long throw in. Sandoval gets ahead to it, but straight to Richie Ryan. Yuma will back it out, and Rebellon taken down hard by Moar. Word of caution from Solorio to Santi Moar. And a bit of frustration showing for New Mexico United.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough challenge on Brian Rebellon. I'm sure they are aware that he was out injured, and they're trying to test his fitness to see how ready he is to be back on the field. Brian looks like he's shaking that one off, and he's ready to get back to play.
142 fouls conceded. That is second in the championship this season. They are a fiery team. But it has served them well. In second place, after Timbers 2 retook the lead in the Western Conference with a 4-1 resounding win over Tacoma Defiance today. Good back heel Resend. Contreras trying to get loose. Kiffy covers him. Off to the byline. Too much.
Just a little heavy with that final pass, but that entire action started with the big ball, the big switch on to find James Keeper and Mishak Jerome. If they're able to swing the ball a little bit quicker, they'll get some chances. They'll create some opportunities.
Seva Contreras doing what he does. Reverse field, gain possession, draw attention. As Mizell will put it back into play. For those of you who are perhaps wondering, in El Paso, of course, the Pachuco nickname, the birthplace of the Pachuco culture, El Paso is called El Chuco. And the fans have taken to changing the chant. That particular chant, you know the word, into El Chuco here in El Paso. And you credit the fan group Eighth Notch. Hopefully at halftime we get a look at that tifo they worked on day and night this last week to show off to the fans here on a Mother's Day evening. See some lightning off in the far distance out east of El Paso, but as long as it stays that way, things should be good. Here's the restart though. Weehan will whip one in, looking for the head on the far post of Hamilton, but it's Kiffy who's there. Tete. Rolling it into space, Mawar trying to get to the byline. Last touch, it'll be a goal kick. Mishak Jerome does his job and he does it well, the Haitian international.
A great clearance by initially from James Kiffy, and then great 1v1 defender by Mishak Jerome to just get a body and lean in on Santimar and throw him off balance a little bit.
Dangerous cross there though. By Chiro and Toko, does find its intended target, but you saw Weehan ready to bear down. A little slower might have provided a nice slice of pizza. You look at what these two teams have been able to do in the desert. Locomotive FC just starting to get that traction. 2 wins consecutively. New Mexico won its last game, again in resounding fashion over San Antonio FC, 3-0. And certainly what United has put together under owner Peter Trevisani and his ownership group has been something to behold in the USL Championship. We'll talk a little more. Oh, here's a lead pass, but it is offside. Flag is up for Jerome Kiesewetter. Great thought. And Kiesewetter was ready to receive that, but ahead of the back line. Well played, United.
Just got a little excited with the run and inched offside a little bit. I know you didn't want that back and want James Kiffy to play that ball just a little bit quicker, but it was a great idea from James Kiffy, a good run from Jerome Kiesewetter.
Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy, allowing clubs at all levels across the USL to develop local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Looking to the future is what both of these clubs are doing. Great to see Bob Bigney in El Paso Locomotive. Bob Bigney, a name I know familiar to many in Albuquerque in the youth soccer scene as well. But signing Alamo United FC as their first youth partner. Great work by Salgado to get loose here. Salgado tries one, and it'll come. Kiesewetter knocked away Mizell.
That's a great solo run by Omar Salgado. Way to get just to get a shot off, and way to follow it up by Jerome Kiesewetter to keep his eye on the ball and to follow it up and just try to get a foot on it to get in the back of the net. It was a great save by Cody Mizell to keep the game level 0-0.
0-0 it stays. That pass out of the back doesn't go where United wanted it to. It comes to Kiffy and Yuma. Contreras, Revellon. Mishak Jerome. Locomotive with his first serious challenge of the evening. A gift from Mom. From Omar Salgado. And Jerome Kiesewetter. Here's Devin Sandoval, and was not able to keep it in play.
possession there by Richie Ryan. As soon as he lost the ball, putting pressure on Devin Sandoval and forcing him to turn the ball over. That's going to be really important. You're going to see New Mexico United look to do that. It's also important that Locomotive put some pressure on New Mexico as soon as they lose the ball and force those turnovers.
Mishak Jerome. A little slow in that pass. Here's Mawar, the challenge wide. Gave it up, and Mawar trying to punish, but maybe rushed it a touch. That's what Locomotive will do if you think somebody's about ready to climb up your back.
He's been relatively quiet the entire first half. However, that is what makes Santimar so dangerous. That's why he's on 7 goals so far this year. He's capable of being quiet and then popping up in the right moments and pouncing on an opportunity like that. So the Locomotive's going to have to be really careful in the build-up and make sure they're keeping an eye on Santimar in this game.
Nice ball from Kiffy to Contreras. Had a little bit of a problem controlling, but he will get into the area. Rolls it across. Nobody in blue on the other side of that. Salgado will run it down to keep it in play. Here's Salgado. He'd like to give his mom in attendance today a nice gift for Mother's Day. The flag is up. It's offside.
Right now, every time the Locomotive are getting down this near side with either James Kiffy or Calvin Resend, the only player that's looking to get into the box is Jerome Kissevetter. That's going to have to change if they're going to look to score goals. If they're going to get goals in this game, they've got to get Sebastian Contreras in the box. Almost Sagado has to join them in the box. Right now, he's getting wide and he's keeping width for them. However, once the ball's looking to get served in the box, they have to make runs and get more runners inside the box.
James Kiffy talking to the line referee's assistant Eduardo Jeff. He might have won himself a call there. Here's Rebellon. Good move by Rebellon, but misfires in the pass. Mawar trying to get it. Rebellon meets him. Here is Contreras. The switch to the left in Kiffy. Kiffy with pace. Resend. Back it out. Kiffy. Ready to go. He'll take it to the far post. Salgado waiting. Here's Rebellon back into the area. Kiesewetter tries the bicycle. Saying he was fouled, but he's not going to get that call.
That's a great first-time service by Brian Rebellon. You'd love to see the attempt from Jerome Kiesewetter. Looks like he thought it was a handball, but it wasn't. It was a great block by Tete, being in the right place at the right time.
Yep, Tete just held his ground. Kiesewetter with nowhere to go but to the turf.
He knew nothing about that save. He turned his back, closed his eyes, and hoped to God that the ball hit him.
Here is Antoko. And you see Locomotive FC, the reasoning behind bringing the former Bundesliga forward to El Paso. Logan Ketterer loft one into a soft spot. That allows Kiffy to run underneath it. It's actually well played, I think, by Ketterer. Tony Soler trying to win possession back about Kiesewetter. Good job by New Mexico United holding the ground, but the pass is off to Richie Ryan. In transition, Resend. Resend coming in. Resend goes for goal. Put away by Mizell on the byline. Kiesewetter saved again, Mizell. And New Mexico United trying to start the counter the other way. And that's a professional foul by Calvin Resend. Manuel Padilla wants a card this early in the match. Will not get one from Gustavo Solario. But that is exactly what Calvin Resend wanted to do. As here we see Kiesewetter right on the back line. Mizell standing his ground.
And all that started from great defensive work from Richie Ryan, pouncing on the ball in the midfield, winning it, and driving to goal, slipping Calvin Resend into goal. He was lucky not to get a better shot on frame. He was leaning a little bit off balance when he took the shot. However, Jerome Kiesewetter was there to follow it up, and he was unlucky not to put it in the back of the net. But a great chance and a great moment for the Locomotive. They're definitely going to gain some confidence for that, and know that they can get a goal and push on in this game.
The rivalry heating up. Calvin Resend is issued the yellow in the 28th minute. And I think a little word from Padilla and possibly from the referee's assistants changed the initial foul call to a foul with a card from Gustavo Solorio.
Yeah, the referee initially didn't look like he was going to card it. However, with a few of the New Mexico United players having a word with him, and looked like the fourth official having a word with him, that the call was changed.
Devin Sandoval does a little step over on Jerome Kiesewetter, and he's getting a word from Solario. Kiesewetter making a meal out of this, admittedly, but even though these players don't necessarily come from here, don't say it's not a rivalry, and certainly for Devin Sandoval, the Albuquerque native, former New Mexico Lobo, it is.
Devin Sandoval is a big boy. I played against him. When he hits you, you feel it, and you might feel it for a couple of days. So I'm not sure if Jerome Kiesewetter is making a meal out of it, because he's a big boy as well, but Devin Sandoval is not small, and he definitely hits hard.
Yeah, maybe not too many dudes in the Bundesliga quite like Devin Sandoval. Thinking the Lobos football team could have used him. Here's Kiffy. Locomotive FC trying to get back to work. Rebellon. We've seen Rebellon bomb forward before. He'll take his opportunities when he gets them, but as Resend draws the contact and the foul. And Tony Soler getting tangled up. Continuing the point about Brian Rebellon. Perhaps in this game we'll stay home a little more simply because New Mexico will try to push up those wings.
Absolutely. He's a player that would like to get forward a bit more, and he's used to getting forward a little bit more. However, this game, his primary job is going to be keeping an eye on Santi Moar. We know how dangerous a player he is, and to make sure they neutralize that threat in Santi Moar, Brian Rebellon is going to be asked to stay just a little bit more defensively this game.
Contreras will take this free kick, the restart from a good 45 yards out. Opportunity to whip one in to the area, or perhaps it will be Mishak Jerome. Contreras will. Looking for the far post, and Mizell calls everybody off to let it go over the byline.
Just a little heavy. Josh Suggs does a really good job of shielding off Chiro and Toko and keeping him away from the ball.
No restart yet. More words from Gustavo Solario. Apparently Tony Soler bending his ear. Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for El Paso Locomotive FC, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores, plus reminders on Locomotive FC's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Things have gotten noticeably more physical as this game has gone on. The fans are in it. Here's Resend. That's a good interception by Calvin Resend. Good lead ball by Ryan trying to find Kiesewetter as they double team him. Back to Contreras. Seba Contreras moving. Winding his way to the left for Kiffy. Nowhere to go, so back to Ryan. Yuma. Quick touches by Yuma to get out of trouble. Kiffy ready to switch things to Rebellon. To Yuma.
It's a good spell of possession by the Locomotive, looking and being patient, probing and moving New Mexico side to side, looking for that right moment, that right gap to find a ball just like that into Omar Salgado.
Well done, though. Now, though, it's Moar. He's loose on the counterattack. Moar looking to get loose to fire one, and it is going to be out for a corner. Mishak Jerome held his ground. And it will be a corner kick. Chris Weehan goes to the corner to do the honors. Weehan himself, another former Lobo. For Jeremy Fishbine's UNM squad. Now Weehan will live on. Are they calling this a goal kick? Wow, I could have sworn Mijak Jerome got a foot to that. But goal kick it is. Possibly the flag?
I thought so as well. I thought it definitely would have been a corner kick. However, the referee saw something else. I'm sure the fans here at Southwest University Park will take it.
Certainly. That's a good bounce. Contreras out to Resend to Kiesewetter. Kiesewetter gets a good bounce himself, trying to find the near post. But gives it a ride out to the green seats. And almost out of the park.
That's a good early ball from Calvin Resend to find Jerome Kiesewetter. Great first touch around Tete. Just not on his favorite right foot, and he's leaning back. He's not balanced when he's looking to hit that shot, and it goes flying over.
Sam Hamilton did well to cut off the low end of that. Kiesewetter forced to try and find something under the crossbar, but it didn't get where he wanted it to go. And Toko, Yuma. Sandoval got a boot to that as well, and it's out though off of Yuma, they say. So here is Suggs. Veteran of the USL Championship. Played for 3 seasons with Switchbacks FC. 15th overall pick by the Colorado Rapids in 2017. Strike that. Silverbacks, OC Blues, San Jose Earthquakes in 2012. That's where he comes from. Resend will put it into space. Salgado cannot get there in time. Interesting thought to open up some space in the right, but too much underneath that. And United will give Locomotive FC a throw-in.
That was well done by Sebastian Contreras and Jerome Kiesewetter, putting pressure on the New Mexico United back line, looking to win the ball back right away. That's going to be really important in this game. A team that's, you're going to lose possession, that's a given. However, if you're able to sort of counter press right away and put the other team under pressure, you eliminate the opportunities for counterattacking moments.
Another digit injury, this one to Omar Salgado. Right in front of the Estrella Jalisco sign. There's Kiffy trying to move it. Richie Ryan, that's a good soft ball. Resend stays on his feet to Kiesewetter. Kiesewetter in for the goal! Send it in, Jerome!
That's a great goal by Jerome Kiesewetter. A great find from Calvin Resend. That's the second time that those two have linked up in the last few minutes, and you love to see that Jerome Kiesewetter is able to compose himself a little bit more. This time, hold up the defender and go high on Cody Mizell and get the ball in the back of the net. Well done by Jerome Kiesewetter.
Jerome Kiesewetter, the Berlin, Germany native. Former U.S. men's national teamer, finally getting to show the home crowd exactly why Mark Lowry brought him to the United States.
He's definitely a man that's riding high on confidence. That's 3 goals in the last 2 games for him. So he's loving life right now. He's feeling himself. He's buzzing with confidence, and we're definitely going to see more from Jerome Kiesewetter in this game and definitely in this season.
Kiffy to Chiro and Toko to Richie Ryan and Resend. Great assist by Calvin Resend, who is, the more time he's being given by Mark Lowry, the more time he earns on this field.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a player that Coach Mark Lowry maybe at the beginning of the year didn't feel was quite ready to be trusted with so many minutes. However, as the seasons progress, he's coming along, and he's trained very, very well, and he's earned the trust of Coach Mark Lowry for those big minutes.
Chiro and Toko introducing himself to Devin Sandoval. Speaking of solid bodies.
Those are two big boys there.
Salgado back into the fray and pressuring. Here's Yuma. They'll force the turnover all over Salim Muhammad. Yuma. The throw in. Seeing Josh Shuggs tangle. Be sure to tune in Wednesday, May 22nd at 6 p.m. the ESPN USL Championship Game of the Week on ESPN News. League newcomers Birmingham Legion FC welcome Nashville at sea. It's the week's best match in the Game of the Week. The Eastern Conference this May 22nd at 6 p.m. on ESPN News. Legion FC traveled for. Oh, that's a great lead ball from Yuma to Kiesewetter walking in again. The flag is up. Wouldn't matter.
I'm not so sure about that one. If he was off, it was by inches. It looked like he timed that one up much better than the first one. It looked like one of the center backs kept him on, and he stayed right in line with that center back as the ball was being played.
United and Suggs upended trying to force the issue. And that's going to be a foul. As Contreras taken down by Muar. And Soler, two Spaniards. Bringing down the Argentinian playmaker. As we enter the 40th minute here in El Paso, Texas on Mother's Day evening. You may be thankful to Mom. We're thankful that Mother Nature has held off. Oh, and that is a knock. And Rebellon is down again. That is not a good sight for Mark Lowry. And Locomotive FC he seems to be able to shake it off, not looking for anybody to come out.
Stop and start the last few minutes here. New Mexico trying to slow the game down a little bit, recognizing that Locomotive had gotten a bit more of the possession in this game and wanted to slow it down and make sure they see out the rest of this half without giving up another goal.
Contreras will go back for Jerome. Will switch it to Kiffy. Richie Ryan to James Kiffy and to Yuma. Locomotive FC. Oh, that one. Rebellon trying to keep it in, didn't work. Moad in a hurry. Here's Suggs getting it to Devin Sandoval. It's tangled a bit with Antoko, who takes a seat. And here is United. They lead that one into Sandoval, who looks like he's a little upset with the service from Manuel Padilla.
Yeah, he's really been neutralized in this game. He hasn't had a lot of service from the players behind him. I'm sure Antoko has paid very close attention to him, make sure he hasn't been able to really create anything in this game.
And here is Salgado. Resend. He's going to go for that top corner. About 10 yards up and over. You talk about Omar Salgado, who you know is aching to score in front of the home crowd, has yet to score this season. Started as the target 9, moved out to the wings, has not groused about it. Mark Lowry's put him wherever he thought that he would do the most good. And he has been that man, done the work at every position.
Absolutely, he's done very well. Whether he's been asked to play at the 9, very similar to when he played against Fresno. So I'm sorry, Orange County as a number 9. He did a great job in that game. In the last game against Reno, he was asked to play on the right side, which is he's not a natural right footer, and he did a great job on the right side. So he's played a few different positions, like you mentioned, and he stepped up to the plate, and he's done what's been best for the team. So you'd love to see a player like that. However, I know he's itching to score a goal. Especially today on Mother's Day with his mom in the crowd, he's definitely itching to score a goal, and if there's an opportunity for him to get one, he'll look to take it.
It seems the Locomotive FC started about the time that Lent started it here. Salgado taking it, looking for the top corner himself, and sends it wide up and over. Good work by Rashid Tete to keep possession, and again force that shot high. But Omar Salgado's long season of Lent continues.
And that was one of those moments where you can tell he wants to score a goal. Could the better option have been just slip Jerome Kiesewetter in? I think so. However, when a player is hungry for a goal, he'll look to go himself instead of playing a potentially a better pass into a forward running on.
It'll be a goal kick. Last touch, they say, by Chris Wehan. Good bit of pressure on Mishak Jerome, but the Haitian wasn't about to give.
He's done very, very well when he's been caught upon in those 1v1 moments in this game. Earlier it was against Santi Moar. Right now it was against Chris Whelan. So well done by Jerome, Mishak Jerome.
Chiro and Toko. Yuma. Richie Ryan. Bit of a hopeful ball, but it bounces well, at least initially, for Kiesewetter. Tete keeps a handle on it and will receive it back.
The Locomotive have done a much better job switching the ball from left to right, forcing New Mexico United to open up just a little bit. Now the passes into Richie Ryan, into Yuma, into Sebastian Contreras are a little easier because there's more space in there.
Suggs does a good job to get that one in, looking for a call as Wehan didn't get there. Moar crunched and will earn the free kick, taken down by Contreras. Dangerous position here. And another caution issued.
Not sure I agree with that card to Sebastian Contreras. It looked like he slipped and the ball inadvertently touched his hand. I'm assuming the referee thought he handled the ball on purpose in that moment. However, it looked like he slipped and his hand just happened to be on the ground and the ball played his hand, if anything.
So the second yellow card issued to Locomotive FC players, this one coming in stoppage time, of which there will be 2 minutes. And New Mexico United. This is a very awkward area. You've got Suggs and Wehan, two guys who can deliver the ball. Any touch with the head, momentum carrying in the wrong way, it could be an own goal.
It's going to be really important that they track their runners and then they put their body between the ball, between the goal and their runner.
And it will be Wehan punched away by Ketterer. Wehan went for goal. They'll start that one back in, looking for the head. It's in! The tying goal scored by Sam Hamilton. Service right back into the box. Manuel Padilla on target. And in stoppage time, United has their fans from the Curse who made the trip from Albuquerque up in the second deck.
Looks like it was that second ball that came back into the box. Manuel Padilla just getting right in front of Richie Ryan, and Richie Ryan not doing a good enough job putting his body between the ball and the player, or between the goal and the player, and keeping him from getting a free header on goal. That was a bad moment of switching off by the Locomotive and giving up a goal right before half.
Troy Lesesne doesn't look it, but you know he's happy. Sam Hamilton with the tying goal in stoppage time. It's a brand new party in El Paso. Ketterer, Kiffing, Ryan, won by Estrada. Yuma giving Weehan a little bit of what for. Another delivery into the box, hopeful by Padilla. Salgado trying to stay in front of that. Little roll into touch for United. And that is our first half of play. Jerome Kiesewetter with the breakthrough for Locomotive FC, 37 minutes in. Before the tie from Sam Hamilton. Resend, great service. Jerome Kiesewetter up and over, but the tie from Sam Hamilton. We'll talk about it on the other side. You're watching Locomotive Soccer.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. At halftime, your score is El Paso Locomotive FC 1, New Mexico United 1. Rivalry week always brings a little bit of an extra trash talk from the supporters group, especially on social media, and we've had a little bit of that this week from both groups. Here we have the Eighth Notch with some of the things that they've been working on this week.
Yeah, we're going to do sheet by sheet. Yeah, matter, Darren, because no, if we use that to create another template,
it's the area, it's the region. It goes back to even our colleges like UTEP versus New Mexico State or even Lobos up there. Both of us are brand new expansion teams.
It means something different to the fans. Mm-hmm. That's really what makes that game feel different. There always seems to be a little bit more on the line. There's bragging rights, there's pride, there's all those things. I think it really comes back to the communities and the fans. It just means more to them, the local pride.
I think with the NMSU UTEP rivalry, that kind of feeds into it as well. But more than anything, it's geographically, it's our closest team.
I think this is going to be the first of many really, really good games. I really hope that everybody in El Paso comes out because we have to make it. We got to make it. We got to show them what we got.
Shout out to the Eighth Notch for always bringing the noise here at Southwest University Park, and a big shout out to Chris Babcock for and at halftime the score is El Paso 1, New Mexico United 1.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I think it's freaking awesome. For lack of a better word, it's awesome.
We would like to formally welcome you to League One for 2020.
We are proud to be the stewards and caretakers of the world's game and the Big O for all the fans. And it starts today, right now.
We, together, collaboratively, can make such a huge positive impact on the community. Together.
You know, you close most deals and you sit at your desk or maybe have a closing dinner. I get to celebrate with 200 people with cheers, so it's awesome.
Breaking in, Kasim! Oh, what a save by Matt Pickens! Got a run from distance, and it's a goal! With the left and in. And what a save for Van Ogle! Here's a chance for Kasim, who puts it in!
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. At halftime, Locomotive FC 1, United 1. The 45-minute stoppage time goal from Sam Hamilton after Kiesewetter opened on 37 minutes. As we take a look from scores from around the rest of the USL Championship, Austin pulled a big win at home over Oklahoma City Energy FC 2-1. Phoenix Rising continuing their winning ways. Undefeated on Dollar Beer Night. That's what we understand, 3-1. Hey, ideas for the Locomotive front office. Las Vegas FC 3-0 over Colorado Spring Switchbacks. San Antonio FC and Orange County SC battling to a 0-0 draw. Reno 1868 with a big win over Sac Republic. And today, Portland Timbers 2 returned to the top of the Western Conference standings, a 4-1 win over Tacoma Defiance. As we take a look at the standings in the Western Conference, Timbers with 18 points regains the lead over United. With a point, if this continues, this 1-1 draw here, United would be back on top based on goal differential. And Reno 1868 nipping at the heels. Should be pointed out, Locomotive FC, because they have not played, are now back out of that 12th position and out of the playoff line. But a victory would put them in 5th place if they can come back and score. That is a look at the standings from the Western Conference. You know, Locomotive and United tied here at 1. Not only is it match day, but it is also Mother's Day evening. It's right, as you know, Locomotive FC, players from all around the country, so I'm sure their moms are watching and cheering from home, wherever home may be. However, for 3 local players, their moms share what it's like to see their son step onto the pitch right here in El Paso, Texas, and the feeling of gratitude it gives them.
Hi, my name is Ana Lu Salgado, and I am Omar Salgado's mom.
My son is Luis Herrera Chapa, and he's a midfielder.
Yo me llamo Verónica Díaz y soy mamá de Guillermo Díaz.
And I've been a soccer mom for the past maybe 23 years, yes. When your kids are happy, you're happy. So it's really not a sacrifice.
He's gone through a lot. So seeing him here makes me real proud. What makes me more happy is that he's happy. That finally he's here.
every game. You know, once they step on the field, we wave at, sometimes he'll wave back to us, and that's cool because he knows that we're here watching him play. So it's been great.
Donde quiera que camine me topo a alguien y me preguntan por Memo. ¿Cómo está Memo? ¿Y cómo le está yendo a Memo? ¿Y está contenta? Le digo, sí, pues claro. Mientras él contento también nosotros estamos contentos apoyándolo.
For me, he's the best player and I'm his #1 fan.
The emotional support that you need to offer like a professional soccer player is very important.
Before he played, I was like, I know you got this. And after that, I've always been proud of him.
Continue the unconditional love, and it's never ending. It can be challenging, but it is rewarding at the end.
Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms around the world, Locomotive FC moms, wherever they may be. Thank you. We all, including these players here tonight, wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Taking a look at some of the storylines around the league as it involves El Paso Locomotive FC, Logan Ketterer leading the Western Conference in clean sheets, second only to John McCarthy from Tampa Bay Rowdies, who has 6 in the year. Ketterer has yet to concede a goal on the road after the 2-0 shutout in Colorado Springs. The shutout streak, of course, is over with that stoppage time goal here today, but that was an incredible run, and he's still right up at the top. With his 2 goals in the row last week, Jerome Kiesewetter, USL Championship Team of the Week for Week 9. First time in club history, Locomotive players have made back-to-back appearances on the Team of the Week. Kiesewetter, the 4th Locos player to make it overall. And as always, keep an eye out Monday for the USL Championship Power Rankings. See where El Paso ranks after tonight's match with New Mexico United. Check it out on uslchampionship.com and eplocomofc.com.
And lastly, my favorite one of the day, it's a big shout out to Duke Keith being inducted into the class of 2019 Hall of Fame here in El Paso. Having worked in this community for 30 years in the broadcasting and the media industry, to be able to recognize, how does it feel?
Well, it felt pretty real once I got to see that, the plaque I'm holding. They'll hang them up in the Don Haskins Center, and you hear people talk about, oh, you've been elected to the Hall of Fame. Then you walk in and you see your plaque, and like, oh, wow, okay, now it's real. So it was a wonderful evening. I want to thank all of the fine folks who inducted or helped me get inducted. Steve Kaplowitz spoke on my behalf, along with Ruben Ramirez and so many others. My thanks to them, and my thanks to you for bringing it up. Thanks, guys. Let's take a break. Back with more. Second half coming up after this. Welcome back to Southwest University Park. El Paso Locomotive 1, New Mexico United 1, the Rio Grande Derby as they call it, as we take a quick look at first half highlights. Jerome Kiesewetter back on the board again. What a beautiful feed from Calvin Resende. And Kiesewetter makes Cody Mizell wave at it as it goes into the back of the net.
That's a great moment from those two. You saw Calvin Resende find Jerome Kiesewetter with the same type of pass just a couple of minutes right before that goal, and him not be able to convert, him really hitting it over the bar. And then the second one, the second opportunity, you see Jerome Kiesewetter compose himself a little bit better and put the ball in the back of the net.
Manuel Padilla, though, the service after it was cleared initially by Locomotive FC on a restart, and that's headed in. First goal of the season for Sam Hamilton. That ties it in stoppage time. And would you expect anything less between these two teams and these two cities as we get ready to start the second half of play? For New Mexico United FC, Troy Lesane has to be happy going into the locker room, but probably very frustrated with the lack of possession. You saw some of the frustration from New Mexico United players as the game wore on, though the two yellow cards belong to Resende and to Sebastian Contreras of El Paso Locomotive FC. What do you think Troy Lesane's going to try to do here in half two?
I imagine the second half will be a bit of the same thing as the first half. However, the Locomotive found success when they were able to switch the ball from left to right a little quicker in that first half. I expect them to continue to do the same thing in the second half and now look to find those gaps in those central area with Resende coming in, with Sebastian Contreras being in there, with Yuma and Richie Ryan, and also maybe Omar Salgado coming into those central areas.
Locomotive FC will have possession to start. Seba Contreras putting it back from Ishak Jerome. No substitutions as Jerome delivers the long ball for Salgado. Well screened by Josh Suggs, and it'll be a goal kick. Cody Mizell looking for a ball, and the ball kid, he thought it was a corner or something. Cody Mizell, hey kid. As eighth notch serenades Mr. Mizell from right behind him in section 105. Mizell lofting that one back into space. Is knocked down by Contreras. Kiesewetter trying to run it down, but the man who provided the assist, Manuel Padilla. '89th pick in the 2018 draft by Houston Dynamo. Helped him win an Open Cup last season. Loft one into space for Devin Sandoval, but Chiro Ntoko has that one. Well played, back to Ketterer. And a foul. Brian Rebreon taken down roughly by Santi Moar. Doesn't agree with the call. But a quick whistle from Gustavo Solario, our referee tonight. Up to Ryan. They beat that initial high pressure in Locomotive FC. Give this team space. And they will do exactly this. The switch by Ntoko. Rebellon. Jerome. Kiesewetter gets a chest. But Suggs puts it back for Sam Hamilton. Under pressure by Kiesewetter. Forced to deliver the ball that James Kiffey willingly accepts. And here is Resende. Contreras putting it back into space. Richie Ryan will keep it through as they're going to call the foul. I think the referee waited to see how advantage was going to play out, but decides to stop play and give Locomotive the restart.
See the big bodies get forward into the box, and Chiro Ntoko looking to get ahead on this ball.
It's the one kind of goal Locomotive FC does not have this year, a headed goal. Also not the best in terms of crosses. Though they have done a good job of playing through the middle for Kiesewetter the last few games and finding something for him to do. I'm sure that Mark Lowry, though, would like to see a few more crosses meet with success.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the one area or the one way they have yet to score a goal so far this season. They've gotten a penalty. I believe they've gotten a free kick. They've gotten goals in the run of play. However, they have yet to score a goal on a set piece, where that's a corner or a free kick. So I'm sure that's something Coach Mark Lowry is keeping an eye on and wanted to improve in that area.
Wehan off to the left for Suggs, who's pinched up high and lofts it into the area. Easily swept back by Logan Ketterer. Ketterer got that shutout streak to over 200 minutes before Sam Hamilton's equalizer in stoppage time in the first half. So no clean sheet today, but Locomotive FC's defense ready to go back to work.
Yeah, as much as his name gets on the stats of that stat, it really is a team effort.
Salgado saying he was taken down. Kiesewetter and Salgado a little close to Solario, and it will be a goal kick for Mizell.
That was a lot of contact. It looked like it was two hands in the back by Josh Suggs. I'm not sure how the referee does not see that. I'm even more baffled at the fact that the linesman, the assistant on this near side, is not helping him out in recognizing that was two hands in the back. That should have been a penalty, and it should have been a chance for the Locomotive to go up 2-1 in this game.
We'll give the restart. That gets section 105 in the 8th notch. Something to bite into here today. Sandoval taken down by Chiro and Toko, who I don't think took kindly to Sandoval's takedown of Jerome Kiesewetter. That is lofted up, and it's offside. Trying to find Suggs, who seems to be up the field a little further than he was in half number one.
Yeah, they're playing that sort of hybrid, odd formation where players are given the freedom to roam a little bit more than usual.
Ketterer, Ryan, and Toko. And suddenly, just like that, Locomotive have oodles of space. Here's Kiffy. Can they keep it moving forward? Kiesewetter. Dummy pass. Good work by Salgado. There's Resend. Nice ball looking for Kiesewetter. Salgado trying to bring it down. Does. Brings it back. Rebellon. I don't know if he was trying for the back corner, but he ends up switching it back out left. And Resend loses a handle on it. And will be called for the foul, and he needs to watch it as Manuel Padilla takes a seat. Resend on the yellow.
It's a great moment there for the Locomotive. A great ball from Calvin Resend into the box. The timing of the movement between Jerome Kiesewetter and Omar Salgado was just off, and they weren't able to get the ball in the direction of the goal.
Mizell will whip that one up the wing. Skiffy gets ahead to it, knocked out of play for a throw by United FC. 15,000 in attendance at Isotopes Park, which apparently has an attendance cap just over 14,000. So where they squeezed those extra folks in, I'm not quite sure. It's well won back by New Mexico United, though. Moar runs into a buzzsaw. Rebellon and Yuma. Rebellon missed on that pass. Soler bringing it back to Moar. Again double teamed. Play on.
That's great reaction by Brian Rebellon, losing the ball on the pass, but not getting upset about it, not putting his head down, reacting quickly to win the ball back. I'm sure Coach Mark Lowry is going to be pleased with that reaction from Brian Rebellon.
Of course, you know that Lowry's eyes are going to be on number 25 simply because he's just back from an injury. How long will they let the Colombian play? Yuma, nice ball to Kiesewetter. Nifty move, but let it go, and he's upset with himself. Kiesewetter showing that he has some moves in that phone booth.
Great ball, entry ball in from Yuma to try to find Jerome Kiesewetter. A little heavy on the turn, and the ball just rolling past the end line.
Cody Mizell, the man from Woodstock, Georgia. You talk about the fieriness of this New Mexico United squad. That attitude comes in large part from their keeper. Well, it should be noted, in a very contentious game with Timbers 2 that wound up being a 3-all draw, 3-3 draw. It was that fiery keeper who fired back at some of the fans who got a little bit out of hand there in Albuquerque. Started throwing things onto the field, and he silenced them real quick. He's done a fine job in kind of leading by example for this United squad in its first year, as is Locomotive FC. Great work by the team ownership as well as by the Curse, as that one's just too far ahead for Josh Suggs. They tried to spring him up that wing. And we have a sub. Guess who's coming to town? Devon Sandoval replaced by Kevon Frater. They will give the Jamaican an opportunity to assert himself on this game, along with Moar, among the leading scorers in all of the USL Championship. Frater replacing Sandoval in the 56th minute. So how about taking off 3 goals and replacing them with 7? Nice luxury for Troy Lesesne.
Definitely an infuse of offensive power for New Mexico United. It's you'll lose the hold-up ability of Devon Sandoval. However, you gain the pace and the goal-scoring ability of Kevon Frater.
Salgado able to back it out of trouble. Yuma, Rebellon, and Mishak Jerome. And Toko to Kiffy. Lots of open space for Kippy. Back from Ryan to Yuma. Locomotive FC will be patient. That is the way. Mark Lowry wants them to play. They move forward and back as a team. Rebellon. Looks like he just lost a touch. Seba Contreras. Nice first time thought. The little bounce to Weehan. Weehan trying to restart things for United the other way. Swing it wide to Padilla. Taken right back by Locomotive FC, but well won. Padilla in part. They'll get it to Frater, the back heel, to space. But it'll roll into touch for El Paso.
You see New Mexico United right away recognize that the danger man coming into the game and wanted to find him and get him involved in the game. It's going to be really important that the Locomotive keep an eye on Kevon Frater, even when they're in the attack, especially when they're in the attack, because he does have a lot of pace and he is capable of being dangerous on the break.
Ryan. Good ball to Contreras from Resende. That is knocked out. Throw in is the call. Padilla just put it over the touch line, not the byline. Resende, Contreras. He'll whip one to the far post, scooping in, trying to get there in time as Rebellon, but it'll be nodded out for the corner by Josh Suggs.
It's a good ball by Sebastian Contreras, looking to find that back post.
And it looks like Kiesewetter will be the one taking it. That's an interesting switch. Wind starting to pick up a little bit out of the east. Here in El Paso. Kiesewetter lofts one to the far post, nodded. And it'll be a goal kick. Last touched by Brian Rebellon. Pleading Locomotive's case to no avail with Gustavo Solario. Again, Locomotive FC on 12 points out of the playoff picture, but should they get a win here today, that would vault them into 5th position in the West. New Mexico United would love nothing better than to retake the lead with a win today, as Timbers 2 holds top honors in the West after their 4-1 win over Tacoma earlier this afternoon.
Both clubs have to be pretty happy with the start to their first season in the league. They've done very well.
Kiesewetter. Here's Kiffey. Take it more toward the byline, and that is a good deflection by Padilla. Only a throw-in. Kiffey was looking to bounce that one off for a corner. And we have another substitution. Coming off Tony Soler here in the 60th minute. Coming on will be Ryan Williams. So one sub left for Troy Lesesne. Locomotive FC have yet to go to the bench.
You see Troy Lesesne really pushing forward, pushing players, especially attacking players into this game, infusing attacking players into this game, looking to get a second goal and possibly get a win here. They feel like they can get a win on the road against their rival, and the subs has indicated that.
Will be lofted to the far post, and they'll call that a goal kick. I don't think it actually went out all the way. Either way, Mizell will get the restart here. So still early days, and both of these teams trying to reserve their strength, as well as both of them will play in the U.S. Open Cup on Wednesday. Locomotive FC will play host to Forward Madison. We'll see if Forward Madison goes full Mingo, brings the pink unis out of League One. They got the win over Bavarian SC as Omar Salgado tries to knot it, bring it forward a bit. For New Mexico United, it is off to Phoenix to play Phoenix Rising, the defending Western Conference champions. That's well won. Kiesewetter, Salgado. And Kiffey. Back to Ryan.
That's what makes the Open Cup such an interesting competition. You're playing, sometimes you're playing men's league amateur team. Sometimes you're playing, what was the former PDL, now it's the League 2. Sometimes you're playing League 1. Sometimes you're playing championship team. As you get further along in the competition, you're potentially playing an MLS team. So you get a sort of a mixture of different teams, different level in one competition. It's great for the game. It's great for the country.
MLS will come in the 4th round. Possibility of playing the top level teams. Here's Kiesewetter. Kiesewetter wants some space. He'll unplug this and send it back to Rebellon. Rebellon whips one far post, snapped just up and over by Resende. Swing and a miss by Rashid Tete. I don't know how he missed that.
I don't think Calvin Resende knew much about that ball. It looked like it was just a slight deflection or a mistimed header by Tete, and Calvin Resende is just trying to react and trying to get a foot onto that ball. I'm sure that's the one he probably wished he had anticipated a little bit better, and he was ready for.
I think you're absolutely right, though. I mean, that is just bang, bang. Tete. Almost put that one on a platter for Calvin Resende. With the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, of course, El Paso, a rich tradition in the Open Cup. As here is New Mexico. They'll pull the plug on this venture forward and take it back to Sam Hamilton. El Paso Patriots in 1995 becoming the first professional team any kind of professional team in the modern era of the American game to advance to the finals of the '95 Open Cup, which they hosted in front of nearly 10,000 fans a year before MLS even existed. They lost in penalties to the Richmond Kickers, but so many of those Patriots are still around this Locomotive organization. You think of Guillermo McFarland, Memo, La Pantera, they called him in his playing days. Chava Mercado went on to win a Liga MX title with Chivas. And of course, Cesar Superman Sosa. Stalwarts of the youth development and club scene here in El Paso, Texas, and folks that Bob Bigney definitely wants around as Locomotive tries to start that here in El Paso. Seba Contreras, nice cross, Kiesewetter, it's in for the brace!
What a ball, what a cross by Sebastian Contreras. He caught the New Mexico United defense off guard. They weren't ready for it. It didn't look like he was going to cross the ball. He looked like he was going to try to get to the end line. He served it in early, and Jerome Kiesewetter was there on the end of it to reap the reward. Well done by Sebastian Contreras. Well done by Jerome Kiesewetter to be ready and alert for the cross.
That man cannot stop scoring. Jerome Kiesewetter, another brace to go with his 2 versus Switchbacks FC. That is the first Locomotive goal scored with the head, the first off of a cross. This is why Jerome Kiesewetter is in El Paso, Texas. That knocked off the goal cam. Send it in, Jerome, part 2. Richie Ryan taken down in the box. And he's got a fiery word for Weehan. Weehan, the former Lobo, not about to back down, but neither is Richie Ryan.
He's a silent leader for the group. He doesn't speak much, but when he speaks, it carries a lot of weight. The one thing that he doesn't get a lot of the credit. However, he's very much the engine in that midfield that keeps them going. He's very simple in his play. He doesn't need a lot of touches. However, he does his job and he goes home. So Richie Ryan is definitely a tough one, and he's not gonna back down from any challenge.
Calvin Resend did well to win possession back as Kiffy tries to cross one. It bounced, partially deflected. It will bounce United's way, but Richie Ryan right back again. Chested down, Resend. Kiesewetter won't be able to get there for the hat trick. Covered.
Coach Mark Lowry looks furious on that sideline. One in the foul on Calvin Resend. Not sure how the referee didn't call a foul there. It looked like he was getting ready to have a shot on goal and was pushed from the back.
That one's swallowed up by Rebellon.
Yeah, great
Absolutely
touch.
No bounce, right? Like hitting a sponge from 50 yards.
He's not showing any signs of being out for a month. He's done terrific in this game. He slotted back in like he played last week.
That is maybe the take of the second half. No signs of wear or tear for the Colombian right back. Here is Kiesewetter.
That you've got to give credit to the team trainer, team athletic trainer Stuart Wright for making sure and getting him right to come back into such a tough game, being the first game back from a long spell from an injury.
David Estrada, the man from Morelia, Mexico, giving Seba Contreras a hand up after fouling him. Locomotive FC have done well to win the lead back as the wind picks up here from the east. But again, Mother Nature holding off with the tears. I guess she got a good present today. How about Contreras? Room to roam for the Argentinian Resend. I think he thought that Salgado was right in back of him and dummied the pass. Didn't quite work. Mishak Jerome gets ahead, but straight to Weehan, knocking it left side. I think he thought Moar was there, but he wasn't. Moar does well to do this. And how about Brian Rebellon? Sombrero and draws the foul from Ryan Williams, and that gets a bit of an ole from the crowd.
He's showing that he's got some fresh legs. He's at a little bit over a month off, and he was eager to get back into the group, get back into the game, get back into the team, get back into the lineup, and you see him enjoying this moment, enjoying being back on the field with the group.
Ryan Williams, 9 minutes in, picks up the caution. First on the day for United. They're in minute 69. And Locomotive FC will certainly take their time to restart.
Absolutely looking to manage the rest of this game. The 22+ minutes left in this game, looking to manage it, play smart, play wisely, and just possess this game out, possibly look for a third goal and seal off this win.
Again, versus the team, or Kiesewetter. Seems like players from both sides have had their issues figuring out where people are on the field. But a team in United that can come at you in waves, 22 goals in the season, certainly. You must manage the game if you are Locomotive FC. Trying to pin Tete deep. That was caught by the wind. Rebellon there, Yuma Tets. Yuma taken down by Kevon Frater, who also wishes to be careful. Coming into the 56th, the man from Portmore, Jamaica. Yuma taking an awkward seat. I think that didn't come with a lot of intent.
It looked like Kevon Frater was looking at the ball the entire time. Just unfortunate to undercut Yuma as he goes up for the header. But you see him. He's been in the game all of 15 minutes, all of 20 minutes. I'm sorry, and he's yet to get touches on the ball. That's a testament to the defense of the Locomotive, really keeping an eye on him and making sure that they're neutralizing the threat that is Kevon Frater.
A salient point, sir. How often does Kevon Frater not get his name called in a game? Out to Rebellon, ready to do some dancing. Back to Yuma. Another foul drawn. This one committed by Josh Suggs. And now Yuma getting into it with Moad. They are familiar with the language, the both of them, as things get very chippy, and Josh Suggs having to be separated as Rebellon continues to writhe, and a red card. Who is this to? Obviously in reaction. Is it to Yuma? It is to Locomotive FC.
I'm not exactly sure who this red card is for. I would imagine that it's to Josh Suggs. However, it looks like the Locomotive are arguing at it being a hit going to one of their players.
We're trying to confirm exactly who it's for, but obviously Locomotive FC still upset, especially with Rebellon, who now must be tended to by Stuart Wright. Alternating reds. Is that to Moad? They're saying that it is Josh Suggs who has been issued the red. But I've seen Gustavo Solario lift the red card twice. Santi Moad
There's a lot of confusion going on right now.
No lie. Nobody's walked off the field yet. Moad is going off. Is he going off? He appears to, yes, it is Santi Moad. Suggs is still there. Yellow for Suggs, that's what we're hearing. And a red for Santi Moad. So Santi Moad is sent off.
that's a huge loss for the New Mexico United.
Amazing. And nobody from Locomotive FC, the way Locomotive players were protesting, you would have thought the red card was issued to one of them.
I thought so as well, and I was a little surprised by the referee and his decision to issue a Locomotive player a red card. Again, even with him issuing it to Santi Moar, I'm not exactly sure if that's the right player to give the red card to. Unless there was a headbutt at Yuma, I'm not sure it warranted a red card. If anything, Jock Suggs, I believe, deserved the red card for the initial foul, and then his reaction to push Yuma on the play there.
Here's the replay. The foul by Yuma on Moar. Some words exchanged in Spanish, and there is the headbutt. Santi Moar in on Yuma, and now we have it explained. I would like to see that again, because Yuma wasn't about to back down, but it looked like Moar came forward just a little bit.
I hope the league looks at this and
so Yuma apparently also receives the red. Both teams playing with 10 men. And now we have it sorted out.
So the ref felt the head-to-head contact, the head-to-head coming together was the reason for the red card. Do I agree? Not necessarily. However, as a player, you can't put yourself in that position with your team up 2-1, knowing how important you are to your team and how important you are to seeing this game out.
Brian Rebellon pleading his case to get back on the field, and finally waved on by Solario. Well, so Gustavo Solario, that's whipped into space for Salgado. From the left by Resende. It is 10 on 10. Santi Moar and Yuma both sent off. We'll call it, because this stretched out for a few minutes, we'll call it the 71st minute. We're going to show this again as we have an opportunity. There's the foul, Yuma. That's a reach. Moar goes tumbling. And boom, there's the head contact. That's pretty 50-50. And if there's no obvious lunge with the head, well, Gustavo Solario, with words with the official, saw something different. Locomotive FC, here's Rebellon to Kiesewetter. Locomotive content to take the steam out of New Mexico United's attack. Leading 2-1 here in the 77th minute. You have to think we're going to get about 4 to 5 minutes of stoppage time. And it looks like it's going to be Derek Gebhardt coming into the game for Calvin Resende here shortly. What a great game Resende has had to this point. Assisting on Kiesewetter's first goal. Solid service all evening long, as here's Ketterer.
He's definitely a player that Coach Mark Lowry is high on, really thinks all the world of him. He's capable of playing in that central area and creating overloads in the midfield.
Here's Contreras. Seba Contreras with room. In it goes for Kiesewetter. Put over the back line. And that's going to be a goal kick.
That's a poor moment. That's a poor moment from Omar Salgado and Jerome Kiesewetter. If you watch both of them, they essentially make the same run into the same area. I would like to see one of them just hold off a little bit, and as whether it's Jerome Kiesewetter or Omar Salgado, hold off into that PK area and wait for that pullback ball. I don't think both of them making that same run is really beneficial, or it does anything for the team.
Applause from the 8th notch and the crowd on hand here at Southwest University Park for Calvin Resende. That is a solid 78 minutes of service as Derek Gebhardt replaces him. The forward from Jacksonville Armada. Although you have to think he's going to be playing a lot more on that wing. and asked to do some solid defensive work from Mark Lowry.
Yeah, absolutely. Calvin Resent brings something different from Derek Gebhardt. I'm sorry, Calvin Resent is able to tuck in a little bit and, like I said, create those overloads in the central area. Derek Gebhardt is not necessarily the player that's going to tuck in and look to find the ball to feed. He's probably going to stay a little bit wider and look to get down the line and combine with Jerome Kiesewetter. So it's an interesting substitution. However, with
Kiesewetter's down on the turf after running into, I believe it's Rashid Tete. That's a cross by Weehan. Out it'll bounce. In it comes. One-on-one. Ketterer has it scored on him by Ryan Williams. The tying goal, and just a poor defensive breakdown by Locomotive FC. As we cross the 80th minute, Ryan Williams rolls one by.
That's just a moment of being switched off. He definitely looked offside there to me. I'm not sure how the linesman did not see that or didn't call that offside. And at the moment the ball was played, it looked like he was just a yard or a step on an offside position, and the linesman missed it.
Ryan Williams ties the game in the 80th minute. 10-on-10. The Rio Grande Derby is off to a rip-roaring start here in El Paso. Gebhardt. Ryan looking up for Kiesewetter. Quick restart. Chiro and Toko. Gebhardt getting it back to Mishak Jerome. Trying to loft one into space for Salgado. It didn't quite work. Out it'll bounce for Padilla. Provided the service for the opener for New Mexico United. And here comes Ryan Williams again. Space for Josh Suggs on the left. Suggs ready to make a run. Well covered. Salgado and Rebellon. Salgado coming back. And there is no second spot to put that, as Salgado fouled by Salih Muhammad. Contreras on the restart. Kiffy. For Gebhardt, making a run into the area. Gebhardt to the byline, in for Kiesewetter. Still in play and finally lifted out of trouble by Sam Hamilton. They'll put it to a spot. That spot filled by Estrada. Will bring it back. Pressured by Kiffy. Standing in front of Padilla. James Kiffy chasing them backward. Controlled by Gebhardt. Padilla nowhere to go. Richie Ryan. Mishak Jerome. Kiesewetter trying to bounce that one up to Seba Contreras, but it bounced straight to the waiting feet of United. Sam Hamilton. Josh Suggs. And Muhammad. United content to take the air out of things now. Here in El Paso. Turnabout is fair play.
Yeah, it looks like that red card has really helped New Mexico United. It's really settled them down. It's taken the add extra player that the Locomotives were able to find in that central area. And Yuma, it's taken them out of the game. And the possession that they were able to find is no longer there.
Kevon Frater called for the foul on Rebellon, and we have the third substitution for Troy Lassane. It'll be Tommy Madden coming on to replace Chris Weehan here in the 83rd. here in the 84th. New Mexico United, with a win, will be back on top of the Western Conference standing based on goal differential over Timbers 2, which got a 4-1 win here today. A point doesn't do Locomotive FC a whole lot of good. Here's a cross whipped into the area, and that's knotted out for the corner. Back comes Josh Suggs.
That's the second great ball by Sebastian Contreras into that back post area. This time it was just over Jerome Kiesevetter's head. However, Omar Salgado just not anticipating the cross as Kiesevetter did for his second goal of the day.
Kiffy will boot this one left side or left footed. He'll do the short corner. Kiffy, in swinger, in for the wide shot. Rebellon right there. He got open at the top of the 6. Couldn't steer it on frame.
Fantastic ball by James Kiffy. Brian Rebellon just missed, just timing his jump a little bit too early and not getting enough on the ball. It's a great ball by James Kiffy into that top of the 6 area. However, Brian Rebellon is not able to get enough on the ball to get into the back of the net.
Locomotive FC about to make another sub, it appears, here in a bit. Edson Partida. I see getting ready to come into the game. Free kick earned for United. It's not Partida, it is Luis Champa Herrera, who will shortly make his way onto the field. Further back, says Solario. On the restart for Padilla. Fans follow El Paso Locomotive FC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million subscribers. Richie Ryan boots that out of trouble. We've already discovered ESPN Plus. Watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Another Jerome Kiesevetter brace here in El Paso tonight. Matched, though, by New Mexico United. Here is Kiesevetter. Trying to get a deflection to roll it into touch. He thought he did. Throw in for New Mexico coming as the substitution will be made. Seba Contreras. 87 minutes of solid service himself. And replacing him, Luis Champa Herrera, who gets a turn in front of the home crowd. Young El Pasoan working construction before earning a look from Mark Lowry in open tryouts, then earning another look and another look. And the young man has just been an absolute part of this lineup ever since, seeing minutes in virtually every match.
Yeah, Luis Champa has done fantastic to integrate himself, to really learn what it means to be a pro in the short time that he's been under Coach Mark Lowry. Coach Mark Lowry.
Salgado has a go. Well over the bar.
Just a little bit out of range, just a little bit too far from goal, and the ball was always rising. Wasn't the best or the cleanest hit by Omar Salgado, but you love to see that from him. You'd love to see him drive at goal and want to get that winning goal for the team. So a great job by him.
As we get closer and closer, the Curse fans up in that second deck seem to be pretty happy with the points these teams will split here today. Here's Richie Ryan. Kiffy. Back to the Irishman. And the word we're getting is that there will be 4 minutes of stoppage time. Here's Kiesevetter. Good work to puts that one back into touch. Well covered by Tete. Locomotive trying the quick restart. If Tete wasn't there, Kiesewetter in prime position to walk in. Here's Kiffin. Lots of open room with only 10 players for each team. Good cross. It'll bounce Kiesewetter's way. Way too much steam behind that one. Although, here's Chaparrera. Trying to wind one up. Fans wanted him to shoot. Here's Mishak Jerome. He will. Easily covered by Mizell. That one's skipping along that infield turf.
Very ambitious effort by Mishak Jerome.
Mizell. That one's caught by the wind. United back with it. Here's Suggs. Suggs into space trying to get there is Tommy Madden. Will, but it's a back pass for Mishak Jerome, and Logan Ketterer puts it out of trouble. And Kiesewetter will earn the free kick. Sam Hamilton saying, hey, he launched himself.
You love to see that from Jerome Kiesewetter. Between him and Omar Salgado, they're pushing. They recognize we can walk away from this game with a point. However, that's not what we want out of a game against one of the top-ranked teams in our conference. We want to earn points on the at home. We don't want to drop points at home. And right now, at the moment, at 2-2, it feels like a points dropped at home. So they're pushing, and you love to see that from those two guys.
There will be 4 minutes of stoppage time. You knew there would be a few after that midfield tiff that got a pair of Spaniards sent off. Spaniard on Spaniard violence, Moar and Yuma. And here is Kiffy making a run again on that left side. Kiffy to the byline. He's got a little room after a slip to the far post. Salgado over his head, cleared but not completely out of trouble. Out it'll come, and just over the bar, Chaparrera. Great work by Kiffy to tee up the young El Pasoan, but couldn't keep it down on frame.
Great work by James Kiffy down that left side of the field. Being composed as the player goes down, getting across into that back post area, and then finding that last pass into Chaparrera, who unfortunately wasn't able to get the shot on frame.
Chaparrera, proud graduate of Bel Air High School. Of course, won the Texas State Class 5A soccer championship this season, along with San Elizario Eagles winning their 3rd title and their 2nd straight for Class 4A in El Paso County. You can't say there isn't good soccer being played, and Chaparrera shows a little bit of El Paso pride. Rebellon. Give and go with Chapa. They'll switch it to Mishak or to Chiro and Toko. Back to Kiffy. Kiffy making some moves again. Kiffy to the byline, gets it knotted across. Gebhardt puts a touch to it, and it'll be a goal kick.
Kiffy really drawing a lot of attention in these final moments of this game, looking to get the ball towards the end line and deliver some crosses. Early on, it was early crosses into the box. Now he's looking to attack the end line and get some crosses and some balls pulled back into the box.
Gustavo Solario urges Cody Mizell to move things along. Mizell trying to put it up into that east wind. Here's Kiesewetter, rolls by. Again, Herrera. Ryan. Derek Gebhardt. Fresh legs. Gebhardt to the byline. Gets a slow touch, and he's taken down. And it'll be a goal kick.
I'm surprised the referee did not call a foul on that one.
Padilla thanking his lucky stars.
Manny Padilla didn't even look to play the ball. Completely leaned in on Derek Gebhardt, looking to knock him off balance, and that's that final touch from Derek Gebhard was heavy because of the lean-in from Manny Padilla. I'm not sure what the referee saw there. If he thought that Derek Gebhard was embellishing, however, that was a clear foul to me.
New Mexico United looking to skate out of El Paso with a point here tonight that would vault them back on top of the Western Conference. Locomotive FC would love nothing better than to get back in a playoff position, but time running low. How about that interception? Chapa saw that one a mile away. Wins it back for El Paso. Gebhard lofts one, far post, and nobody in blue on the other side. Wind might have played a role there too, because that was at the ball's back.
Yeah, Locomotive's really targeting that back post area in the second half. However, that one just a little bit too long, and no one there at the back post to head it back across the face of the goal.
And that is it. A hard 1 point for each team. New Mexico United 4-1-5 on this, 4-1-6 now on the season. 18 points back on top of the West. Omar Lucero has words for Gustavo Solario and the refereeing staff, as does Jerome Kiesewetter. With the red card looming large as New Mexico wins the tie. Sam Hamilton in stoppage time. The other goal from Ryan Williams. We'll be back to wrap things up here from El Paso after this.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Welcome back, everybody, to Southwest University Park. The rain now starting. It held off for 90 tough minutes here in El Paso, Texas. New Mexico United earning the 2-2 draw. Sam Hamilton equalizes Kiesewetter's first half opener. Ryan Williams equalizes Kiesewetter's brace in the second half. A goal for each team in each half, but Locomotive certainly feels a little more hard done by tonight, Michael Balogun.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, and you saw the Locomotive players questioning the referees on some of his calls towards, especially in that second half. The one pushing the back on Omar Salgado, the offside call on the second goal from New Mexico United. They felt the referees were subpar today. So I'm sure that's going to be a topic of conversation.
2-2 is how it finishes. Both teams split the points. That puts New Mexico United back on top of the West. Locomotive will head on to the U.S. Open Cup here from El Paso, Texas.